I read over 50 books in 2023, and in order to tell you guys what I loved, what I hated, and what I didn't even finish, I thought it would be more fun, instead of me just telling you about it, is for me to tier list you about it. So here we are. I've put all of my books that I read this year into this tier list, and we're just going to talk about some of my banger godlike novels. We're going to have the ones that were like good, would recommend, some good that I might not recommend though. I know it sounds weird to be like, oh, you thought it was good, why would you not recommend it? But, you know, it'd be what it is. And some that were just bad, awful, garbanzo. Let's just call it garbanzo. And then did not finish. So these are our categories, and we're just going to kind of jump into it. Before I jump into it though, I just wanted to ask you guys how your year was in terms of reading. Did you guys read good books? Did you guys enjoy what you read? Did you not enjoy what you read? Let me know what your favorite books of 2023 were, because I'm about to tell you mine. And let's just get started, okay? Let's just get started. I suck at intros. We're just gonna get started with the meat, with the content, okay, with the substance. This is not in any specific order, actually. I could do it chronologically, but that'd just be too boring. So the first one is actually a webtoon. It's called 99 Plus Enhanced Wooden Stick. That's basically what it's called, okay? I just call it, I call it 99 Plus Wooden Stick. It's basically a webtoon. It's a meme. This guy's playing a VR game, and in it, he's a complete beginner and has trash items and keeps getting trash items and keeps getting like bullied and shit. And then he just somehow, through sheer luck, enhances his wooden stick to level 99, which is virtually impossible to do. Like the obvious, like the smallest little percentage. Like that's the whole meme. That's the whole kind of satire of it. And then he just goes about and fucks shit up in the game with a wooden stick, a cloak, and underwear. So it's mainly just supposed to be satirical, comical, and that's about it. There's really no like substance to it. So like, it was good, but I personally probably wouldn't recommend it to people unless like I knew that they would love a satirical, like just a stupid comedy webtoon, which I love stupid comedy webtoons. But I think it was fine. You know, I think it was fine. That's about it. That was the premise. It is what it is. It's a webtoon. I did read the 6 books of the Secrets of Immortal Nicholas Flamel. 6-book series. I read 3 on a flight on the way to India, and then read the other 3, other 2 while I was there. The 6th one I read 75% and then didn't finish it. So that will go in my that one specifically will go in my DNF pile. But as a whole, pretty good series. It's basically a twins save the world story, and it combines virtually every commonly known mythology. It has Greek in there, it has Roman in there, it has Egyptian in there, it has a couple of Indian in there, I think. There's some Japanese ones in there, some Chinese ones in there. There's also like people of human legend, you know, Billy the Kid, Machiavelli, Nicholas Flamel, those kind of characters, all mushed into a 6-book series of the prophecy is coming alive, and one side must destroy the prophecy, the other side must help fulfill the prophecy, that kind of thing. But I do have to say, the way Michael Scott, the author, meshed all the characters together was actually very good. There are literally over 100 characters in this entire series, and they all had a personality. They all had their own kind of thing going on. They all had their own power going on. And so he really did stick to like the legend. He stuck to like their character. He stuck to who that type of character was supposed to be. Maybe they have some character updates. Maybe they're static. Who knows? Very good series in my opinion. Would recommend. Arya Khanna's Bollywood moment. Shit was really bad. This was an arc that I read. And I saw that cover, and I honestly thought it was going to be like a young adult, like early 20s, mid 20s girl, like getting married, and it's her Bollywood moment. The premise is that you're following the point of view of high schooler who's in like 10th or 11th grade, whose sister is getting married. But Arya Khanna is the high schooler. So it's like her experience, like her family drama, her personal life drama, all that stuff. But it wasn't that good. The scenes were choppy. The chapter to chapter transitions weren't good. The intra chapter transitions were like choppy and like skipped around or skipped forward a little bit weirdly. And then pacing was really weird. I just didn't really like it that much, to be honest. I get it was an arc. Maybe it's better when it comes out. I did not like it at all. But also it wasn't what I expected. And I don't remember if I read the summary and then picked it up or if I just didn't read the summary that they give you, like the excerpt. But I mean, looking at that, I legit thought it was going to be like, you know, a young adult. But maybe that's on me. Ranger's Apprentice, Arzan Wolves. Dude, the Royal Ranger series when I read them this year was so good. But Arzan's Wolves was not as good as all the other ones. I'm obviously going to recommend it to you because if I don't recommend Ranger's Apprentice to you, my entire channel is just up in flames. I have no purpose here if I'm not recommending Ranger's Apprentice to you. But it was the worst of the 6 Royal Ranger series thus far. You know, that's what I'm saying. And we're just gonna go with that. The Bone Shard trilogy. Ooh, can I do all 3 at once? I can't, bro. Banger series. To be honest, if I'm differentiating between banger, godlike, and good, would recommend, maybe I should add one. That'll kind of differentiate the bangers versus the not bangers. He said, weirdly. Cool. Great, would recommend. This is a great series. It's not my banger series, but this is a great series. I'm putting Alchemist up here as well. This was a great series, all in all. I think the best book out of all of them actually might have been Emperor. It's either one of these two, but it was like actually a banger book of the two. Great series overall. Bone Shard magic, mythical beasts, bonding with mythical beasts, human power-ups, political warfare, sea battle, sea travel, and you're basically in an archipelago of a kingdom. There's so much in this. I'm making listen. Here's a little preview. I'm making an archived review over this series. Okay, so I can't tell you all of it right now, but I can just tell you the series is banger. Okay, like I said, Bone Shard magic, fight scenes, superhuman power-ups, mythical beasts on the sea, on islands, and the lore, bro. Don't even get me started on the lore and the characters, bro. Oh my god, bro. Free my mans Jovis. That's all I'm telling you for the series, and then you'll have to wait for the archive review, or you have to go read it yourself. And if we're mutuals, I have all 3. I'll lend it to you. That's just how it goes. Bookshops and Bone Dust, great, would recommend. I just finished this week. Amazing standalone cozy fantasy. Okay, same thing as Legend and Lattes. If you've already read it, if you haven't read Legend and Lattes, this is a cozy fantasy. Low stakes. The world is not really ending. Low stakes fantasy. Ton of banter, myriad characters and races of characters, and just a good overall nice story just to like chill with a warm beverage and read. That's really what this is, and it accomplished the job beautifully. Okay, beautifully, if I may say so myself. Fern is me and I am Fern. Crooked Kingdom. We just know this, right? And I'm going in order of this. Okay, so you're just gonna have to wait until the other one comes up. Bro, the Six of Crows duology is one of the best duologies of all time that I've read thus far in my life, and they are bangers. Okay, heist, morally great characters. We love the way I just blanked. Oh my god, there's a cut there because I just blanked everything I was gonna say about this series. Let me consult my notes because my brain is not working. Yeah, one of the best endings to a story that I've read in a ton. It was basically Six of Crows and 110% of Six of Crows, which is like when you can do a book 2 better than the book 1, you know you got something right. Like Leigh Bardugo really hit a banger with this one. That's all I'm saying. Leigh Bardugo hit a banger with Crooked Kingdom and Six of Crows. Darren Mataru's Dragon Rider. Listen, okay. This is another arc I just finished last week. And I'm going to talk about this because it is a book. I read it and I had to tell you guys about this. It has really good potential. This story has really good potential, but the execution in the arc that I read was not up to snuff. It was not. The premise is that there's this ward boy who has been basically this ward boy slave who is the ex-emperor's kind of, helper. He has plot armor in that series. He 100% has plot armor, but he witnesses the absolute downfall of the kingdom that he was once living in, once serving the ex-emperor of. And as he's trying to escape all of this murder, betrayal, this almost killing off of this entire race of people who's come to visit, he encounters a dragon egg, takes said dragon egg, and runs into an ice cold forest. That is where the story takes on. The exposition was actually very good. The story up until like 75%, 80% was really good. The last 25%, I think could have been pushed to book 2, in my opinion. I think it drug on a little bit too long. I also didn't like that it's called Dragon Rider, and there was only one dragon riding scene right at the beginning of the story. Nobody else rode dragons in the entire story. Why are you naming your book Dragon Rider when there's no dragon riding happening in that story? What is going on? That was legitimately one of my gripes. Now, it might be me, and I might be picky, and I might be petty, whatever it is. That was one of my gripes. I'm just going to put it out there. All right, that was Dragon Rider by Tadamasa Haru. I would recommend it when it comes out in April because I think it's just a good story. I honestly think it's a good fantasy story, or it's gearing up to be a good fantasy story. I just don't. Oh, the magic system, done very well, by the way. So that one, like, I would say read it when it comes out, but it's not great. Would recommend Ranger's Apprentice. I think this one's Duel at Arluen. No, this one's these things are so small. 1 second. Yes, this is the Duel at Arluen. Great story. I think this is book 3, where Princess Madeline is trying to help her mother withstand a siege that's happening on Castle Arluen, and then is also helping her father do a reverse siege, which is super dope. And then we get once again the cameo of the brother band guys. We get Hal, Thorn, and Stig. Great. I think this one out of the 6 is actually like one of the best, to be honest. One thing you gotta know about me is I love my dungeon manhwa. I love my dungeon hunter manhwa. Okay, I am a fiend. I am a whore for dungeon hunter manhwa. Okay, that's just how it is, and that's how it's gonna be in my life. So I also read the Dungeon Cleaning Life of a Once Genius Hunter. So basically, this guy is triple S class hunter, and he gets betrayed. Literally, chapter 1, and he's about to get shot. And he's about to get shot with the only weapon that can take down a triple S hunter. He's about to get shot, right? So he's looking down the barrel of the gun like this. He gets shot and then wakes up. I think like I don't know how many years later, 10, 15 years earlier, back when he was like a no-grade sorcerer with still all the knowledge he had of his S-grade history life, but he gets reincarnated, but he travels back in time as a dungeon cleaner, which was the exact class of workers he looked down upon at that time. And he's given like the usual kind of the panel of side quests, and it says, and it's basically like the better he makes the dungeon cleaning team and organization look to the rest of the hunter world, the more skills he'll unlock and all that stuff. So he still has all of his prior knowledge, and now he has to use it to benefit the dungeon cleaners, which were the exact people he looked down upon. Actually really funny, really good, like good would recommend, to be honest. The Enchantress, which I think is book 6 of this series, which I didn't finish. I got 75% through, and I just couldn't finish it. I don't know what happened. It was like a mix of life things and me just not being able to, like, every time I opened the book, it just felt like I was not reading fast enough to finish it, and it just wasn't working. So eventually I was like, I'm just not gonna finish the series. I got what I wanted out of the 6 books. I get there's a war happening. I'm assuming how it ends is how it ends. It's fine. The story still was really great. I don't need to know the ending to know that was a great story so far. You know, the journey, not the end. And we're going with that. Eragon? We know Eragon's a banger. All right, I'm yelling for that, okay? Eragon is a banger book. I don't care what you say. You guys like that stare down? Eragon is a banger book. If you haven't heard of the Inheritance Cycle, you've obviously been living under a rock for the past decade, if not more. Past 15 years. But Eragon is the story about a farm boy who finds a dragon egg and gets sucked into a war between the current Dragon King and the Resistance. That's basically what Eragon is. And it's a 4-book series. It's called The Inheritance Cycle by Christopher Paolini. Mans wrote this when he was like 16. Stupendous brain. World building, mwah. there's 4 books to it: Aragon, Eldest, Bersinger, which means I think fire in the Elven language, and then Inheritance. In my opinion, I think the ranking for all 4 of the books goes, to me, I think it was Bersinger, Inheritance, Aragon, and then Eldest. Now, I wanted to read all 4 of these this year again. I just couldn't because the books were not there in my public library when I wanted to rent them out. So I only read Aragon because Christopher Paolini released a side story of Murtagh. I believe it's Aragon's brother. And this, he released that in November, which is like a side story of the Inheritance Cycle world. So it's not a sequel to anything really, but it's just like a what happens to Murtagh kind of thing. But Aragon, banger. If you haven't read Aragon, living underneath a rock. And if you have read Aragon, we can talk. Another Royal Ranger book. This one is Escape from Falais, which is good. Once again, good. I'd recommend all of them. And this was basically, they were helping a Gaelish prince, or Gallican prince rather, escape from a fort that he was captured in. Fire and Brimstone and Arc. What did I review this as? Because then we'll see how much should I have to talk about this. 3-star. Okay, it was okay, right? Fire and Brimstone was okay. Not really. It was just weird. Like, the story was very basic. You kind of knew where everything was going. It was like a girl stumbles into, like, she has these powers, and now she has to join this organization to understand her powers, and then one part of the organization is trying to kill, like, one sect of people is trying to kill her, one sect of people is trying to help her. Who does she trust? All that blah blah bullshit. It was okay. I don't think it was that good, to be honest. It was another arc I read in the summer. Would not recommend Fire and Brimstone, but if you really want to go read it, do it at your own peril. Fire fucking Born, Flame fucking Fall. I'm skipping one. I know. This is how it goes right here. Great series. And the fact that it's right in fucking between Fourth Wing is so funny to me, because so many people online are like, did you not like Fourth Wing, but do you want another dragon series full of more dragon politics and less on the banter and the sex? Read the Aurelian Cycle series by Rosaria Munda. Fury Song, Fireborn, Flamefall, and Fury Song. Now, here's the thing, right? This series is good. It's a very good series. It's like a Bone Shard trilogy series, Drowning Empire trilogy. Same level. The thing with Fury Song is I read Fireborn and Flamefall kind of together, and I started Fury Song, but I couldn't finish it in time before the ebook rental expired on Libby, and so I didn't read it. I didn't finish reading it until December. The end of Fury Song completely changed my opinion on the series. I thought it was like good, and then Fury Song happened, and then I was like, that was great. That's what happened to me. So Fury Song, this series is great. This series is a more politically charged series where it's kind of takes place at the prologue is the tail end of a rebellion, and then it starts off 10 years later. An orphan of the old Dragon King is now one of the dragon riders, like working for the man who led the rebellion. And your other protagonist is a woman who is friends with the main orphan protag. She's also an orphan because orphan protag's father killed her parents because she was a village woman in like she was a peasant basically. And then she gets to be a dragon rider underneath the new laws that don't discriminate based on status. And then it's just a very politically charged wartime rebellion, a lot of fighting, things like that. Still a very good story. Now, my only gripe with this, which has been a recent gripe of mine, is when you have mythical beasts bonding with humans, why don't we give them speech capabilities? Like in this one, I didn't really miss it as much because there was a lot of back and forth communication between the rider and the dragon to where I didn't miss it as much. That's why I love Bone Shard War, or the Bone Shard trilogy. That's why I love the Inheritance Cycle. That's why I like some of these other books coming up here. That's why I love, is because the mythical beasts can talk. And so that just enhances their personality. If you give them a sarcastic personality, if you give them a naive, caring personality, if you give them a more cynical person, like you give them these personalities, and it's more fun hearing them talk than seeing the words. Main protagonist here could understand the dragon's feelings by the way the vibes they were getting. I'm like, what the fuck are the vibes you're getting? Like, talk, bitch, talk. Only gripe. And also, which is really interesting, a lot of the times when you have like Dragon Rider series, you know, the human gets some sort of benefit from bonding with the dragon, whether it's magical power, superhuman strength, like a power up in some way, this is one of the series where the human gets no benefit, almost no benefit. Like there's no superhuman power up and no magic. There's no magic in this world. It's just the dragon magic, basically. Either they breathe fire or they don't breathe fire, and that's about it. So it was very, very good in keeping within like their line of, you know what, we're not gonna have superhuman power-ups. We're not gonna have like this is not a magical world. This is a real world. Shit dies. People die. Get the fuck on with it. Great story. Great story. Would recommend 100%. Fourth Wing. You see this? See this shit? My dragon shrine of Fourth Wing? That's Fourth Wing, okay? You know I love this series, okay? And it's not because it's the best objectively written cult classic series ever. It's a fun fucking series, dog. That's just all it is. It's just a fun series. And if you don't like a fun series like Fourth Wing, that's fine. You don't have to. You know, you don't have to like it. Adjusting my gain real quick so I don't yell into this thing and burst your eardrums. Okay, so you don't have to like it necessarily, but it's just a good series in my opinion. That's all I'm saying. It's a good series. There's banter, there's dragons, there's more dragons, there's more banter, there's smut. Not really, it's not smut. It's just like some tease and then there's sex. It's not really a lot of smut, but it's just fun. Like, it's just a fun series. And if you're looking for a fun series filled with dragons and good banter, Fourth Wing is right there. There's action combat. There's a fucking American Ninja Warrior course in there. It's so dope. It's also like a Dragon Magic Academy kind of. It's like also like School Academy kind of vibe. It's just dope. Okay, I love Fourth Wing. I always recommend it to everybody. I am insufferable about it, as you can see. It is what it is. Gallant, pretty good. This was my first ever V.E. Schwab book, and honestly, pretty good. It's a nice standalone story, kind of sad, but not like tear-jerking sad, but you know, the vibes were there. The melancholy vibes were there. It's a melancholic story, but it's pretty good. Get Schooled, good, but not Goku Rakugai. New manga that came out this year, I believe, or late last year. It's monthly. It's not weekly, it's monthly. There's like 12 chapters out right now. So I think it started in January actually. And it's good as fuck so far, okay? I don't know how to explain it, to be honest. The art style, great. The character designs, great. Basically, you have evil spirits and a detective agency that hunts down these evil spirits. And one of the detective agencies, the kid in the red you see on this cover is half evil spirit, half human. But it's monthly. So if you want like a good thing to start and then keep up with, Goku Rakugai is great. Hidden Genius, great. This is not fantasy, this is not manhwa, this is not manga. This is non-fiction, okay? Hidden Genius is a non-fiction, basically a self-improvement book. And it's written by Polina Marinova Pompliano. She is the founder of The Profile, which is a long-form dossier article. It's a news company. It's a media company that makes long-form dossiers over interesting and successful people. I think she started this back in 2017. She released the book 2023 in the summer. We covered the entire book basically on the podcast. I flagged the shit out of it, obviously, as you can see. I just got a lot of good anecdotal and scientific and just good advice from the novel. Just things to think about, things to reframe how you're thinking, and just things like that. So, in my opinion, great pickup if you're looking for a non-fiction read. His Majesty's Dragon, which is part of the Temeraire series. Okay, I just finished this one last week as well. So, Temeraire series, right? What do I tell you about the Temeraire series? Temeraire series. I'm just gonna stop. It is a 1 out of 9 book. It is a series about this dragon called, it's like a historical fiction book mixed with dragons, right? So it takes place in how many ever years ago in the English-French War when Napoleon Bonaparte was still alive. And you have the English against the French and English allies versus French allies, that kind of thing. In this world, how do dragons fit in? Well, each country has their own aerial fleet of dragons and their own dragon riders, which are called aviators. So what happens is this one naval captain, Captain Lawrence Allendale, captures a French ship. And on that French ship was a dragon egg. And when any naval fleet catches something like this, like, oh, dope, I can't wait to go back to land and sell it for bounty. But dragon egg was going to hatch in about a week. And so they couldn't really wait. And they were 3 weeks out from any land. So the egg hatched. One of the members of the ship that was supposed to take the place of being the dragon's aviator was completely ignored. That dragon walked all the way around the ship, stepped in front of Lawrence and said, "Why do you look sad?" Bitch can talk. I was so excited. He could talk. Oh my goodness. You don't even know. I was like, let's fucking go. We get talking dragons again. So he kind of chose Lawrence as his aviator. And then the story goes from there. Great story. It's the first book out of 9. I don't even know where this is going. And I'm telling you, it's great. It is older English vernacular. There were at least 30 words I did not know throughout the book. No, I did not write them down. I should have. Great read, in my opinion. Great read. House of Marion. Didn't finish that shit. Got it as an arc. It was so bad. I didn't know where the shit was going. I just stopped reading it. Banger! Iron Flame is a banger. It's basically Fourth Wing, a little bit better. In my opinion, it's better. People said it's not as good as Fourth Wing, but I think comparing a book 2 to a book 1, you're almost never going to get the exact same vibes you got from a book 2 with a book 1, because with a book 1, you're just newly introduced to a world. Okay, you're never going to get the same vibes as newly being introduced to a world as opposed to a book 2, which is then supposed to expand upon the world. So if you take that part out, Iron Flame was Fourth Wing, more griffins, more griffin riders, more combat over the actual threat to the world, family drama, more sex, more like just shit going on, and still more banter. Like, it was just all Fourth Wing and more. And it's still dope. Would I have liked some things more in the story? Yes, but it's still a dope one. This has cemented itself as one of my top series of all time with only 2 books. And there's supposed to be like quite a few. And I saw a quote that said, Rebecca Yarros said, yeah, book 3 is still a ways away, which is fine. I will reread these bitches. All right? I have no problem rereading these bitches. Okay? Legends and Lattes, absolute banger. My second cozy novel. My first one was really just like House in the Cerulean Sea. Legends and Lattes, 5-star banger. Great world, great banter, great story, low stakes. We love Tantry, who is a succubus right there. And all the characters were great. Like, stepping into this world for the first time, it's just an immediate 5-star when you get done with it. That's just how it is. It's so heartwarming. I love it. King of Scars, great. This is the second sequel duology to the Shadow and Bone trilogy, King of Scars, where Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom focuses on Kaz, and all those folks in Ketterdam is a little bit on the darker side. King of Scars focuses on the future of where the fuck they are with Nikolai and Zoya and the red-haired girl who got her face fucked up by the Darkling. Can't remember her name right now. That's them. I thought it was really good. Much better than the Shadow and Bone trilogy, the duology, much better. And we're gonna get to the other one here in a sec. Magician Apprentice. I thought it was okay. I would recommend it. I wouldn't recommend it, actually. I know a lot of people would recommend this series. I don't like it. It's a series. I only read book 1. I actually DNF'd to book 2 and I didn't even put it on this list. I got it from the public library, read 5 pages, and I was like, fuck no, I do not want to be in this world right now. And the reason being is all the way up until like 90% of the book was done, the last 10%, I don't know what the author was trying to do. He like warped around everywhere in this timeline. I don't know what he was doing. I could not follow what the author was going with this story. Because he like time skipped, gave me a different point of view from a character I've never known, and I didn't even know this character could have had a point of view. Time skipped again inside the chapter, different point of view from a different character. Time skipped again the next chapter, and I'm like, where are you taking me with no guidance? I'm not smart. I mean, I could follow it. I'm a pretty intelligent person, but I still didn't want, like, I had to work to follow it. I don't want that shit. It was such a bad ending to that book that I was like, I don't even want to read the rest. And I was recommended this series by somebody. And I was like, I don't want to read the rest. I don't like it. I don't like it. It wasn't good. The Magician, which is I think book 2 or book 3 of the Secrets of Immortal Flamel. It was fine. It was fine. Mashal, good. Satirical manga, and had season 1 of an anime, basically like One Punch Man. He basically lives in a time of magicians where magicians rule over non-magical people, and he doesn't have magic, but he has super aggressively superhuman strength to where it makes people think he's doing magic, but he's just really aggressively strong in every muscle and in every fiber of his being. It's good. It's comedy. It's fun. Memory of Souls is book 3 of the Chorus of Dragons pentology series. Pentology. I think this is the best book of the... I've only read up to book 3. I haven't read the 4th and 5th one. I think it's the best one of the 3 that I've read so far. It was great. It had the characters, had the plot, had dragons, they were talking, it had betrayals, and it had banter. It had everything you need. And it was still set up as the same as the first 2, basically recounting in terms of like a story. Like somebody was narrating the story to you, basically. And, you know, same, like multiple POVs, etc. Good story, good read. Name of All Things, pretty good. It's book 2 of the Course of Dragons. Book 1 was focused on the main character, Kieran. This Name of All Things was more focused on, I believe her name is Janelle? Yes, her name is Janelle. So it was focused on Janelle, and then eventually her meeting Kieran and things like that. Basically setting the stage for like the second RPG member, basically, or the next RPG member. Good stuff, good stuff. Necromancer was fine. Night of the Witch, pretty good story. This is another arc that I read in the summer, and it's a standalone series. It read as a standalone, but had a weird like cliffhanging epilogue scene. So I'm not really sure what they're doing with that. But I believe Night of the Witch is the one where, yeah, it was a witch hunter, witch conflict, enemies to partners trope. Basically, it was almost like, I believe it was German. It was set in Germany, a town in Germany, and a witch is a young witch gets her coven invaded, and all of the other witches die except for her, and she's trying to find the one person who might be alive from her coven. And then you have Otto, who's the captain of the Witch Hunters Guild, and he's like undercover trying to actually get all the witches to us. It's interesting. It's interesting. It's a good read. It's decent. It's fine. I might have just spoiled everything for you guys, and I'm really sorry if I did that. Ranger's Apprentice. This is the Red Fox Clan, which was a book 2, which was decent. It basically set up the siege and all that content, but then Duel at Arluin was like, you know, the siege and the reverse siege. So it was really good. I tried 3 chapters, guys. Guys, listen, hear me out. Okay, hear me out. I really tried to give it a shot. 3 chapters in, it was so bad. Like, I don't know where the fuck anything was going. I didn't know what was happening. And people are like, it gets better. I'm not reading 60% of a book for the last 40% to be better and still not good. So I did not even finish it. I stopped. I legit stopped. Royal Ranger, love it. Book 1 to a new DLC series, love it. It's just more Arluin, more Ranger's Apprentice. We love it. Rule of Wolves, though. The only reason this is getting a banger godlike and not a great is because it gave me one of my favorite female characters of all time, which is Zoya Zelensky. And if you read the book, you'll know why. If you haven't read the book, I'm not spoiling it for you, but 10 out of 10 would wipe up. 10 out of 10 would wipe up Zoya Zelensky, and that's just how it is. Shangri-La Frontier, manga that I started reading because the anime came out. It's another like kid plays a VR game, and that's just the plot. Nothing really major is going on, but it's a fun ride, good action, good art, decent characters, and the VR game that is inside is actually pretty fun. So that's about it. This one though, ooh, I talk about this one a lot now. This was from a debut author, Tim Faciola, right? A Vengeful Realm, Scales of Balance or Balance of Scales. Listen, you know I love these books and I don't know what they're called. That's just how it is. Scales of Balance, Balance of Scales. I don't know what it's called. It's the series is called A Vengeful Realm. Debut author, banger book cover, cool title, full fantasy, high fantasy, addicting plot, magic, myriad characters, gladiators, action, magic gladiators, gladiator action, magic gladiator action. What else do you want? Oh, I forgot to tell you, it's polished as fuck. One of the best debut novels I've ever read. Like, a lot of the times I do expect newer authors to like be missing something that a reader would want in their plot, or it not being up to snuff from what you're expecting. Nah, man's fully delivered and more. Like, he knew what the fuck he was writing, in my opinion. Okay, Tim Faciola really did that shit. And I continue to recommend this book to people, and I will continue to recommend this book to people. Book 2 comes out in January and we're reading it. Six of Crows. You already know where this is going. You already know where this is going. I can't find where I put it, but my friend gave me back my Six of Crows copy because I lent it to her. Banger series, banger duology. Every character is goated, and the entire story is just great. Okay, that's just how it is and how it's gonna be. And if you don't like Six of Crows, I want to meet you because I want to know why you don't like it. I've never met somebody who doesn't like Six of Crows. Starling House by Alex Hierro. I put this in DNF because I did start it the exact night before I flew to India, so I never finished it. So I might try and restart it in January and see if I actually want to finish it or if it's going to stay a DNF. But for now, I did not finish it, but I did start it this year. And it's okay so far, but I really don't know where it's going, and I almost don't care. That's kind of how it is. The Sorceress, just another Nicholas Flamel series. The Sorceress Transcendent, though. So The Sorceress Transcendent is actually a novella. That's actually how it is. It is a novella that is basically about another enemies to lovers thing. This one sorceress lives alone in a cabin. She is invaded upon by she's actually not invaded upon. She opens her door, and the one guy who's out there is the captain of the country that's trying to, invade her land. And he's like, I need help, I'm dying. And then she nurses him back to health, and they grow. One Sunday afternoon, you start that, finish that, have a warm beverage, sit outside in a hammock. Tell me you don't want that. Because if you don't want that, why the fuck are you here? We want that. I want that. I live that. I have a hammock outside. I just don't have a warm beverage to put with it because I don't like warm beverages. If I had a warm beverage, I would be warm beveraging that right now. Okay, Henna Artist was... I'm not trying to shit on all these books, okay? Henna Artist was fine. I just didn't like it. As an Indian, reading a book literally put in India about how fucking Indian politics and bullshit works, I just didn't like it. I'm not saying I support Indian politics and Indian bullshit, but I just didn't like the story of how it was going, to be honest. I bought book 1 and 2 before I started reading book 1. So now I have book 1 and 2, but I'm never going to read book 2. So there's that. Bro. Sword of Kaigen is so good. Sword of Kaigen is so good. It is top 5 books I've read this year. Like, I might order the banger godlike row for you guys once I'm done. Top 5 books I've read this year. I think about it quite literally every week. Like every week I'm thinking about this book because it was supposed to be a series, and the author said I'm not making it a series, so it's now a standalone fantasy of a swordsman in a village on the tip of an island in, I think, Japan, Kaigen village or whatever, and it is just an amazing story. Truly an amazing story. I read this back in June, and I'm still thinking about it in December, and I'll be thinking about it next June, and the hole it left in my heart. Like, I'm actually buying a copy of this for my friend because I think he'd really like it, and I'm just gonna go ahead and buy it for him. He doesn't even know I'm buying it for him, or that he's getting a book from me, or that I'm even giving him, like, I don't even think he reads, but I'm still buying this story for him because it's so good. It is such a good story. I read 10 pages of this and closed it. It's just the fucking juxtaposition of these two being together. Loved this one. Couldn't even get through 10 pages of this. I don't know what the fuck was going on with the imagery and the description of the stories. Way too much fluff. I didn't like it. We're just gonna put that there and keep going because we know what it is. The Wishing Game, really good. Good, heartwarming standalone story. I think The Wishing Game was a good story. I enjoyed my time in it, and I think you would too. Whoever's listening to this, I don't know you. I think you would enjoy The Wishing Game. It made me think about life a little bit, to be honest. And if a book can do that, it's succeeded enough, you know? It's succeeded in life. The Warlock, like all the secret, like immortal secrets, the secrets of immortal Nicholas Flamel stories were fine. Like they were all fine, you know? Like nothing was really amazing. But like it was a good one. I would still prefer Percy Jackson, but it was a good one. Windbreaker was a manga that, even though I started reading it back in 2022, I actually didn't know how far they got because of the site that I was reading it at stopped posting it because we don't pay for it. So I found it again this year, and actually I've been keeping up with it. So it's kind of like a new reread in a sense, and I just really enjoy it. It's basically High School Delinquent-ish vibes, and it's just a good story. I love the characters. I love the different kind of. I love the differences between all the characters that make them all unique and have their own personalities and stuff. So I really do enjoy Windbreaker. I would recommend it. I don't know if it's great, but I would recommend it. Speaking of garbage books, You Again? No. I didn't like it at all. It was supposed to be like a romantic story. There was no comedy in it. I don't know if there was supposed to be a comedy in it, but it was a very it was a story about two self-destructive people finding a way back to each other to then self-destruct again. It's just, it wasn't a good, I didn't like the way the story was told. I think it was maybe the way the story was told that I didn't like, less the characters, more like that. But I didn't like it at all. I wasn't a fan. It wasn't good. But this is my overall 2023 tier list. Mostly good ones, few really bad ones, but they're mostly all good. And as a bonus for you guys, because it is already 52 minutes, so we're gonna have to go to the entire hour, let me order this banger godlike one for you guys. I think this is a good enough ranking, right? Sword of Kaigen was the best series that I've read, the best book that I've read this year. No matter how insufferable I am online about Fourth Wing, Sword of Kaigen was the best one I've read this year. Fourth Wing was close after because you know I love that shit. Six of Crows is right there because you also know I love that shit. Bone Shard Emperor, really good book 2, in my opinion. I think it was the best out of the 3 for what it did. Now you could make a case for, I'm actually going to put Bone Shard Emperor back down here. I'm going to put Bone Shard War up here because the lore that was in Bone Shard War broke everything I was expecting about the series. So that's why. Crooked Kingdom, still a banger. Iron Flame, sorry. Legend of Lattes, great story. 10 out of 10. Iron Flame, still really good. Rule of Wolves, because the only thing going for it is Zoyana Zelensky, that's why it's low here, but that's about it. Fury Song, great one. Only reason Aragon is all the way down here is because it was a reread, because I've already read this series twice in my life. And this is how it goes. This is how it goes. So we talked about my favorite books of 2023. Let me know your favorite books of 2023 and or some of your favorite books of all time, because we're all looking for what we want to read in 2024. Let me know. If you're new here, welcome to the archives. I should have welcomed you earlier. I didn't. That's on me. We just want to get right into the fun. But if you're new here, welcome to the archives. We talk about books, manga, manhwa, mostly any media that I like to enjoy. That's what we talk about here. And my goal is to make sure you start reading, continue reading, and never stop reading. That's my goal. So if you like this video, leave a like, comment, anything you want down below. It really does help out the videos and helps out the channel. If you're new here, subscribe. If you don't want to, that's fine. And I'll catch you guys in the next video, which is God knows when, but it'll happen at some point, I guess. Bye.